we're really redneck in here. You can't see on camera, but we've got a cord running from our office located 3 rooms away, coming all the way in here and hardwiring like back in the roadway cage. Anyway, looking a little festive tonight, aren't I, Chad?
Beautiful.
I lost the bet, but I won the fantasy football league. So this is our belt. So guys, if you're watching, I got proof that I'm on here now. Champion fantasy football. I was a 5 seed in the playoffs, surprisingly, thanks to Mike Evans. Won the championship, scoring 50-something points. But anyway, we're going to get rid of that. Chad brought a gift in here tonight. If you tell him you don't have to come on show and give me something, but our little long branch. It's Matthew McConaughey. Little things. So,
all right.
Well, we appreciate that. So, a little goofy tonight, getting things started. So, we're just happy to be with you. Thank you for your patience. But before we can talk any Merchants baseball, anything like that, how about them Hawkeye women?
Absolutely. You know, as a Hawkeye fanatic, you love seeing them put it all on the court. I would definitely say the better team won, and it's just any day you get to watch Caitlin Clark just launch it from the logo and just do the incredible things she does is just awesome.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's unfortunate he didn't win. A little overshadowed. I got my 2 rings on tonight. Sorry, LSU, but I got my 2 rings on. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's too bad. I don't think Caitlin Clark cared too much about it. I think the media is making a big deal of it, just like everything else. It's basketball. They're both having fun. I'm a little more interested in what her GPA would be. She wants to talk that much, but I can't go there with that. Anyway, you can see on the bottom line there, we got Chad with us, Director of Parks and Recreation for Carroll, big Merchants fan and Hawkeye fanatic, covered on that a little bit. You've been with the city, what, 18 months, a little more than that?
Pretty close. November 2021.
And originally from Shenandoah, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Came up here, job.
Absolutely, yep. It was just another big step for me and my family, so it was just an opportunity, you know, when I first started getting into Park and Rec and really discovering that this is what I love to do, you know, we knew we wouldn't be in Shenandoah forever. It is my hometown, love it, but it wasn't a forever thing for me.
Sure.
Which, you know, that's absolutely fine. You know, in my mind, I didn't want to be in a big city, but I wanted to find a place that had a lot going on, a lot of things to do, great school systems, great opportunities for me and my family. And, you know, from day one, Carroll was one of those places on the map. And now that we're here, we absolutely love this place, and no looking back right now.
Well, glad to have you and your family in town now. Speaking of family, we were just talking a little bit before we went on air. 6-month-old at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooper.
Cooper.
Yep.
Going to be active in everything. Big Merchants fan.
Yep.
Probably can't hold him back on drinking for a little while, but down at Merchants Park,
I guess.
Yeah. Maybe one day, maybe he'll play.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, we'd like that. We don't have housing.
A little easier for everybody.
We'll get back to chatting a little bit, but the housing kind of reminded me we're doing pretty good on housing lately. Jen and Tara have been really pounding the pavement. We're going to be about 10 short yet, which is not surprising. We've got some pictures we need to get signed yet, but most of the housing has been filled up. So that's good. So thank you, everybody out there that willing to take on a Carroll Merchants, and we promise that they're going to be well behaved. And like I said, we've got 25 guys signed. Pitchers are finally starting to roll in at this time. Next episode will be roster reveal, so keep that on air. But anyway,
did I make the cut?
Did you make the cut?
Yeah.
Hell, they didn't let me make the cut. I'm a championship belt. I got 2 rings.
I definitely don't have any of those. So.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, but we'll get back. I'm all over the damn place on this show. I told Chad tonight was the first night we didn't do a script or anything. We just kind of rolled with it. But we'll get into the meat and potatoes now. So Chad, let's talk a little bit about your role with the city, and you're going to keep it busy this summer between Merchants Park, state baseball, RAGBRAI. I'm sure I'm missing something else in there, but you're probably going to be about the busiest man in Carroll this summer.
Yeah, there's a good chance. At least, you know, if it's not me, it's the team. So at Carroll Parks and Rec, we oversee all of our parks, our Muni golf course, obviously Merchants Field, a bunch of other ball fields, all of our youth athletics, a bunch of the adult athletics. there's just a lot to it. Obviously, the rec center, the outdoor aquatic center, there's just a lot to it, and we have 13 awesome full-time people that just kill it. I mean, I I don't like taking praise, I'm the new guy here. They're the ones who make everything work, and, I really cherish what they've done for this community. They did a fantastic job, and I wouldn't want it any other way, so
And speaking of, employees, they're all good, I know a bunch of them, but the one that comes to mind with Merchants Park is, of course, Scott Parcher.
absolutely.
Irreplaceable in my opinion. Scott does a job, just a great public servant, uh, always down there. It's his baby. I mean,
Mhm.
what can you tell us a little bit about Scott?
Scott's one of a kind, that's for sure. There's a reason that field looks the way it does. It's his past 30 years of dedication. We're very lucky that he's come back on part-time, since he's retired. Doesn't feel like he's retired because he's down there every day, as many hours as he can do. Probably doesn't turn in half his hours that he actually is down there, but, he puts out an awesome product on that field, and, there's a reason it looks the way it does. All thanks to him.
Old school, I mean, he's been probably down there for close to 40 years.
All in all, probably, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
In particular,
Very.
I don't
Yep.
think you can have a product that looks that good if you weren't.
No, no.
It's
You go down there, and if you're starting practice while he's on the field and you're not standing in the right place, or he doesn't like what you're doing on his field, he'll sure let you know. I helped coach a high school legion team here in town, and we had a tournament one weekend last year, and big storm came through, blew the kids didn't get the cover on over the dish properly. I get there a little late, and it's just absolutely soaked. Like, man, we're not gonna be able to play. Well, he shows up and just starts chewing my butt because I picked up a rake and was gonna start moving stuff around. Just I've worked on a lot of ball fields, just trying to dry everything out, and just starts ripping into me. You can't do this. It goes on. I just shut my mouth. It's like, this is your baby. I understand. Let me know what I need to do to help. And just the kind of guy Scott is. A week later, yeah, yeah, I shouldn't have yelled at you like that. It was me and another guy, Justin Yetmar, is one of our
okay.
assistant coaches too, and he made the comment, "Aren't you his boss? Why are you letting him yell at me?" I was like, "This is his baby. This isn't mine. This is Scott Parcher's." So, it was all fun and games, and we got it ready. We weren't delayed one bit just because of what it takes for that field. Um, and it does just obviously an awesome job there. So,
Yeah, Scott's one of a kind. I'd love to sit down with him. I don't know if I can get that
oh
done.
boy,
It would be a
if
great
you do, I'm gonna
conversation.
sit in the back of the studio.
Maybe we can
Good
write it
luck.
into his, contract that he's
There
gonna
you
do it,
go.
but love to talk to Scott. It wouldn't be very long. He's always a man on the move, but,
Mhm.
just be fun to give him a little credit and
Oh,
recognition.
absolutely. And I make him out to be a grump, and at certain times during the season he is. It's just a lot of hours for him. He's got family and grandkids and everything that he wants to see, but he really likes to dedicate his time to that field, and I'm appreciative of it, and so is everybody that gets to play on it. But he's also a very, very nice guy. We saw each other for the first time in a few months, just the other day, and just a big smile on his face. He's ready to get back to work. He asked if I or how many extra pounds I put on over the winter. But, yeah, he's just a funny, fun guy to be around. If you really know him, you know how much he loves that place and how good of a person he is, so
Yep, absolutely. Um, again, we wouldn't have state baseball if it wasn't for him. Probably the field condition probably wouldn't be. Not saying that someone couldn't come in there and do the job he does, but it'd be hard to find
yep.
come along. I
Your
know
shoes to fill.
the Mink League. We were in the Mink League for 1 year, and it's foregone conclusion. It's the best playing surface in the Mink
Mhm.
League, and for a traditional league like that to say that, that's a hell of a
100%.
compliment.
Absolutely.
So, but anyway, let's talk a little shop. Let's first of all, before we do that, trying out some new fancy things. Those of you that aren't watching on your smartphone, hold your smartphone up to that QR code. That directs us to our Carroll Merchants store through game one. We have several items on there to pick from. If you get on there, we need you to order by April 16th to ensure delivery by uh, opening day. But like I said, use your smartphone. Just hold your camera up to that. Open your camera app. It'll pop up a little bubble. Tap the bubble. It'll direct you right to the store. Same thing with our Booster Club tickets. We've got that one up there. Booster Club tickets are on sale now through the start of the season. Make sure you get your Booster Club ticket. Get two T-shirts, two 20-game punch cards, so total 40 tickets. If you wanted to blow it all in one night, you could bring 40 of your friends, and it wouldn't cost you anything. Or it's for every game, and we only got 18 home dates, so really we're giving you kind of a little bit of the value to bring someone out and really experience Merchants Park and Merchants baseball. So with that being said, Chad, your relationship with the Carroll Merchants kind of explain that. You kind of are Parks and Rec, so you're really seeing over the day-to-day operations with the Carroll Merchants. However, Carroll Merchants, most people don't understand, are third on the list between 1A and 1A. I'm not even gonna say 1B, 1A, or 1 and 2 for
Mhm.
the 2 high schools. And now that's always kind of an interesting thing on our scheduling standpoint. Can't imagine the scheduling conflicts and kinda just the heads up that you have to do that, not to mention throwing state baseball
Sure.
on that as well.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a busy summer. We basically meet with the athletic directors in, October, November, and, that they're really hot and heavy on starting their baseball season. They're getting all their games scheduled for the year, constantly back and forth, just kind of relaying the messages with me. I don't actually have a whole lot to do with the schedule, which, obviously is nice on my end. But, yeah, they get that schedule to me. We get that schedule to Chris Whitaker, and, this past year, I think we had already had that four-person email thread going, and, I mean, it was just smooth as could be, and, obviously a big thank you, Chris, because he started the calendar this year and sent it to me, and, I've just kinda taken games off, put games in as needed, but, he actually did most of it where normally I would do it, so it was kinda nice to have that little thing off the plate, but yeah, it is very interesting. You look at the actual dates. May 1st, both high school teams are starting their regular practice. There'll be some spring games going on right now. We actually had our first spring games this past week. Um, but once you get into May, there's somebody on that field basically 5 days out of the week, not really practicing Saturdays and Sundays until they have to. Towards the end of the month, they start their games. They back off a little bit on the practices. But once you get into June, you look at that. There's 2 open in June. That's basically 2 games every night, JV varsity, 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 or a merchants
Sure, sure.
game. There is one date I believe that we do have maybe a 3-gamer every once in a while. Rain date, you may end up. We really don't like to try and do 4 games a day, especially in the middle of June. It's just hard on the field. We can only get so much water on it before people can really start doing some damage to it. You end up seeing some different turf diseases at that point. So, we got to kind of be careful on that line. And, if one person has to cancel a JV game, then it really benefits us in the long run. And you start working towards after the 4th of July. It starts opening up a little bit. Merchants are able to get in there quite a bit. It's a summer's hitting that halfway point after the 4th of July, and now it's merchants 3 to 4 times a week, and, it's a ton of fun. We make it some sub-state or some, district games, which is always a really competitive atmosphere and, leading right up to state baseball. And actually, this year is even more special because as soon as we're done with state baseball, following Monday, obviously, is rag dry, so that's gonna be tons of fun. I'm gonna have all my hair by but,
We need before and after pictures of
yeah,
that one. Someone
exactly,
remind
yeah,
me of that
that'd
when
be
I get to
good.
July.
Um, but Monday, there is a chance for the Merchants to have a play-in. Now, me being the guy I am, Merchants are gonna be a 1 or 2 seed. That game's off the hook. It's not gonna be even on the schedule, so we don't have to worry about it. And then Tuesday, you start right in. And, if you keep playing, the higher seed, I believe, constantly is hosting home
Correct, and yep, until the championship
until the
series, and
championship series,
then it
and
splits.
then it
Yeah,
splits.
yep, it's,
So another conflict that we've ran into this year, uh, I mean, it's about a year and a half ago, we got signed up, or we were lucky enough we get to host the Senior Classic, All Star Classic. So that is the best seniors in the state of Iowa. They divided up by Southwest, Northeast, or yeah, Southeast and Southwest. So just all the best talent there is that are seniors in the state. 4 teams. They're playing 3 dates. We have worked something out, I believe, with Rapids. So if Carroll or Merchants are hosting a game on that Thursday, maybe even Friday. Actually, I think it's just Friday. So if there is a game on that Friday, they will go down to Coon and play the first 2 games, and then Saturday, Sunday they'll be playing back at Merchants
perfect.
Park. So really, it's almost August before we're really done. And we don't have any fall ball. We've kind of been asked, man, that's just a tough time. We need that field to rest. We need it to recoup. We need Scott to be able to go and do a lot of sod repair, just the little things that just need taken care of at that time of year. And hopefully, we start getting some of these big grants coming in for some of our renovations that we're looking for. That would be kind of the time to do it in a perfect September, October timeline when we can get a lot of stuff done on that field and really do no harm to it. So.
Have you had any interest, any colleges reach out this spring that maybe they can't play up north and they're thinking about coming
Oh
down
yeah,
and
yeah. So we had one. I wanna say maybe Iowa Lakes. I know last year we had another. I want to say it was a JUCO reach out, and it stinks because that would be awesome baseball to have here too. But unfortunately, when they're wanting to play in May and the field's booked every single day, or they're wanting to play 3-game series with somebody in March, or excuse me, in May or late April, it's just tough because they're all based on spring seasons. And we've already had a couple reach out to us, even Legion teams, high school teams. Just, hey, our field's trash right now. We got hit with a heavy rain a few weeks ago. We're just looking for a field. Unfortunately, we got the same rain too, so they weren't able to play. Now, I still have plenty of connections back at Central College where I went and played baseball and did some coaching, everything like that. And we were really trying to get them to come and play here
sure.
because their assistant coach was here during state baseball last year
Okay.
for scouting, and he's like, "This field is awesome. If we can meet in the middle, or maybe not call it a middle, but us play BP here, or us play Nebraska Westland or a non-conference team, and we can play maybe out of the Dakotas, and we can play here in April. We would love to do it. Unfortunately, that didn't work out this year. Maybe next year we get some Division three, Division two JUCO teams. So that would just be icing on the cake what we could bring in. And I really think this is a good baseball town. It's a great baseball town. Um, when I was playing, you get to the conference tournament, there might be 100, maybe 200 people there, and we're playing at Cedar Ed. So that's it was fun for us because that's some of the biggest crowds we got to play in and under. But I know if we really put it out there for a nice April, early May game, we could pack that house and have a couple hundred people there and show them that Carroll's awesome for baseball.
Absolutely. You mentioned Iowa Lakes. I played at Iowa Lakes for 2 years, and one of my buddies and I, we talk Iowa Lakes. They're kind of in a down slump. Our assistant was there now as head coach. Not the best baseball anymore, but our conference tournament when I played there was held in Carroll,
Mhm.
and we usually, just the games that we've played, there was probably 100, 150 on a weekday
Yeah.
in second week of May, first, second week of May. So I don't doubt that it'd be kind of fun to have, but ultimately the field comes first, our
Mhm.
town comes first, our teams, our schools. So, um, and that's like you said, our busy season. But it's a great compliment to the Carroll community that we can have these coaches that have seen a lot of baseball fields, have players that have played on some good fields that they wanna come to Carroll and play games, and, I just think it's great, but unfortunately, the last couple springs, like you said, it doesn't cooperate.
Correct.
But
Yeah,
and, you
yeah,
know, that's another thing with state baseball too. I know there's a push for maybe some 4 classes, but ultimately, you know, you've been on the field there at the end of those tournaments. I've been on the last 2 years in those tournaments. That field is tired
yeah. Yep,
after those 2
yep,
games. Yeah,
used and abused. I
yep.
mean, and, you know, that's what it's there for, but at the same time, you start getting that late in the year, you gotta start thinking about next you know, there is a tipping point where, you know, you go much past that, and that carries over to the next year, you know, so we really try and I wouldn't say limit the games, but we just have to be realistic about what we can and can't do on that field. You know, I think if we were in a pinch or state baseball was in a pinch, could we host all 4 classes? Absolutely. I would absolutely love that. I mean, we would have fans from all over the state getting to see what a it would be. But knowing that, we would probably I would hope that we can start limiting some during the rest of the summer, um, on that as well. You know, we talked about different ideas, you know, unless it's games, maybe just wear your shoes or trainers, something like that. But you know, that takes away from the high school athletes that really need to have game time situations. They're not going to be playing in that. They're going to be playing in their cleats. We want to give them every advantage to do as much good as they can in baseball. You know, so yeah, I mean, we've discussed multiple different scenarios of what we could do. Maybe one day every week, no games, no practice on the field, but that's usually the day merchants are there. So it always makes it tough.
Blame us like always.
Yeah,
But well, speaking of updates here, is there anything you can share with us about this next phase that we're
yeah,
planning?
absolutely. So, you know, G-Man, Chris Whitaker, he's awesome. You know, he's big mind on this stuff. He's got a lot of big ideas for the field, and I don't mean like giant, renovation stuff. You know, we went through a huge renovation 7 years ago. Stadium looks awesome. You know, people talk nothing but great things about it. This is more on maybe the player and spectator end. You know, so if we end up getting these grants, part of the renovations are going to be new ADA aluminum bleachers behind both dugouts. Raise them up because right now the first four rows of those bleachers, you're behind the dugout. You can't see anything. So if you're raising those up, platform with a ramp on both sides, it'd help even increase the amount of people we could have state games for these big Memorial Day games, and you know we're going to start selling out merchandise almost every night. It's my ending goal
That's
on
our
things.
goal. That's yeah, we
Absolutely.
gotta grow up from about 475 to about 1,200, but,
Perfect. I
we
think we can do it.
I think we can too. You
Mhm.
know, get this show out, maybe do a live show in front of everybody between games or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kinda cart in front of the horse here.
So, you know, that's one. New and improved lighting. That's one. You know, we basically keep the same towers, but fixture or change the fixtures up top. They're all brand new LEDs. It's going to be a brighter field experience. It's gonna be better for the athletes, and hopefully better for the spectators. We hope to expand the press box to allow for more people to be up in that booth. So you know whether they're calling the game from across the state, taking stats, whatever Iowa high school would need to really run the way they would want to here, is a huge bonus for us too, especially making them comfortable here, keeping them comfortable here, and you know let's sign some long-term contracts. Dugout expansion's another one. Um, you know, a few years ago when they did the renovation, I believe they made them longer. Well, if you ever go in there when there's 30 kids in there, it's not enough room to get by. So this would be expanding a little bit deeper. I think only like 3 feet, but you know it'd help a lot. On top of that, um, Scott is the goat. That's for sure. Um, but you know, making them a little deeper, allowing kids to have room in there and enjoy everything. Um, you know, there's talk about fencing. I'm not going to give away too much right now, but you know, we did end up tearing our windscreen from last year in that July 11th high wind storm.
Sure.
Um, yeah, it got some good use out of it. If I'm correct, Scott had actually got that brand new about 30 years ago,
Okay. That
and
doesn't
he's
always
been
anything.
mending it and, I mean, does all of his own work to it himself, it sounds like. So, we've got a nice new addition coming, and it should be up and ready to go plenty of time for Merchants opening game and
Great.
some of the high school games. We do believe that's gonna be a nice little addition. But yeah, that's, some new protective netting. Right now, we have the chicken wire, which was forever
Yep.
in that time. We've gone round and round with that on what we put up instead, but, most places have a nice protective netting, something easy to see through and protect all your spectators, so that would be possible another part of it. It's all in all gonna be just shy of $1 million project. Right now, with Chris and Carroll Athletic Association, county, both schools, the city, we have, and he would have to tell me the exact number, but it's probably close to 60% of the way there.
Oh, good.
And if we end up getting this Destination Iowa grant or a Wellmark grant, whatever it may be, that's gonna put us over the top. We'll have everything ready to go, and we can start a design phase and really get the ball rolling.
Great. I know the state, I'm sure, would be interested in that. Me, as I always laugh at those bleachers, that's kinda one of those things I kinda laugh
Mhm.
at, by those bottom 4. You're not seeing anything down there. I $1,000,000 seems like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, $1,000,000
It
just
doesn't
doesn't
get
go
you
very
much.
far.
It does not get
It
you much
really
anymore.
doesn't. That's the sad reality of everything. What is it how's the you know anything on the plumbing of the park? Like, are the pipes under the field good for
Yeah,
irrigation?
absolutely. Irrigation is all solid. Everything's been kept up well. Um, you know, if there is an irrigation problem, we have the tools and everything to get it fixed that day. So, between that, the lighting's okay right now, but if you really want to have high-end ball games, you need to get those upgraded. If you really want to really pack the house, you need to get those extra 4 rows in, maybe even get a little bit bigger bleachers than what is there. So, I'm not tooting Kemper's horn at all, but they played Van Meter in the absolute first round of baseball this year. It was awesome to have a home team in it. It's a fantastic environment. That place was packed. I forgot to pull up all the numbers, but they sent me numbers of our 1A and 2A days compared to the 3A and 4A days, and we were right there with them for most of it, all the way up until I wanna say the last day of semifinals and the finals.
Yep.
Just, you can't compete with what Johnston brings. You can't I mean, it was New London versus Van Meter. Van Meter brought a great crowd,
Yeah.
and New London brought a fun crowd,
Yep.
but, it wasn't that's down by Burlington.
Right.
They had 5 hours to drive to get here,
Yep.
so obviously that kinda limits their giant fan base. Van Meter also had their softball girls, so that kind of affects things a
Yeah,
little bit,
that's
so
you forget about that, but yeah, with the dead week in there now that
mhm,
the high school athletic association did, that slid baseball same week as softball.
correct, yeah,
Fortunately, they're only an hour away, but still an hour away, you still got
yep,
split
absolutely, and,
fans and
there was a lot of great Van Meter fans that, they left the early game and got here for the late, and that was awesome, but still, that first game with Van Meter and Kemper, it was a one-run ball game the entire time. Kemper led quite a bit of it. Exciting, fun atmosphere. Everybody's there. Everybody's loud, and when that place is packed, it makes a difference. And I wrote a letter to the editor last year and explained, I've been to state baseball when it was at Principal Park, and I'm not knocking Principal Park, but when you have say even 500 people in a 10, 12,000 person stadium, it feels empty. You know, oh, you know, Kemper's over here and meters in this section right here, and maybe spilling over a little bit here and there. But you host it in a 1,000 person stadium and you bring 15, 1,800 people and it's standing room only, that place feels electric.
Yep.
And that's why state baseball wants to be in Carroll.
It's a special park, you know, I played on Principal Parks Field. It wasn't state baseball. We did a game
Oh,
before the
well,
I-Cubs down there, and
you're better than me because you've
yeah,
played on it. All right,
absolutely,
all
yeah.
right.
I tell you what, though, playing surface-wise, same as we played
Better.
UIO baseball tournament down there, and we
Mhm,
played an exhibition against, BGM Brooklyn, as a matter of
mhm.
fact, and, playing surface without a doubt same. I mean, it
Yep.
really is, and I'm sure maybe somebody from Des Moines out there listening that has people on the crew down there, but
Sure, and we're
eh
not knocking Principal
no,
Park.
it's a great
Absolutely, it's a
facility. It's just
great facility. I've watched a lot of great baseball there when, I lived in Des Moines, and a lot of nights out there, but, there's just something about high school baseball, Carroll Merchants baseball.
and, you know, the stadium, you think of it, you've got the stadium, and I guess for correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but the goal of the stadium itself is not supposed to make money per
No,
se for
no, no,
itself.
no,
The
no.
goal of the stadium is to kinda give the town something that has an economic value, and I think that's what we're trying to do. I know
100%.
me personally with
We don't get any of the ticket sales, the both schools, they both pay a rent, you know? Merchants, because we know they're bringing people in, they're staying in our hotels. We're not making money on the front end. We're making money on the back end. The hotel, motel tax, local option sales tax, people staying in town, spending money. It's a tourist destination. That's almost how you have to look at it. On paper, that place does not make a dime, but we don't need it to. And state baseball pays a rent fee to be there too. It's nothing over the top, but it does go a long way for what we're trying to do. You know, it It's just one of those necessities that we love having in town that draws people. When we were going after this grant, we actually got denied the first time. We made the first round of yeses before we were stricken down. Um, we regrouped. We started trying to figure out how do we show that this place was a destination, and we teamed up with our local chamber office, and they'd been using an app that actually tracks cell phone usage. So even if you're not on it, it tracks where you're from, where you're going, everything. It's awesome for a retail businesses downtown. Well, it was showing people coming from, I want to say it was like 24 different states. And sure, maybe some of those are your Texas guys that come in on the team, your Arkansas guys. But that's also their family. They're coming up here, they're staying in hotels, they're staying with your host families, they're eating at a restaurant, they're shopping here, they're enjoying some time at the ballpark. But I mean, just you even clicked on the week of state baseball. It was just blue lines, everything. All those lines led straight to Carroll. There's Des Moines, Burlington area, Fort Dodge area, Sioux City area. Everybody just centrally coming to Merchants Park for that reason. You know, if they stayed the day, awesome. They usually bought gas here, they bought food here. Maybe they stayed the night here. It's awesome. It's a huge economic boom for us. Is it a shopping center? Is it anything like that? No, but it's something people want to visit.
yep, and look at towns the size of Carroll, and how do we keep progressing in the right in a rural economy that, for lack of a better term, it's hard to get people in here at
Sure.
rural Iowa. That's personally why I do the merchants. I feel like I'm giving back to the Carroll community in my way. Again, I'm not one for Rotary or Knights of Columbus, even though I do have a membership with both of them. I just feel like I'm giving back more to the community by doing so and doing my part keep something here in Carroll to get the young families out. There's nothing better than, in my opinion, seeing mom, dad, and the three kids come to a
Mhm.
merchants game, even if it's for an hour and a half before the kids get restless and head home. It's
Absolutely.
still
You
great to
came out
see
to the
them.
ballpark, the kids are gonna talk about it, they're gonna wanna go back.
Yep, it just keeps something in Carroll and keep the economic train going a little bit
Mhm,
there. And speaking, when you mentioned the kids or the host families coming to town, um, unfortunately, we just don't have the resources to have a merchant store out of the ballpark. We'd love to have it. Chad and I are big proponents of having merchant jerseys, but we can't get that going. So, G-Man, if you're listening, we need
that's
merchant
number
jerseys.
1. Yep,
But
absolutely. I'd be first person in line to buy a merchant jersey, I'll wear it to every game.
But Steph Hackford and the crew down there, she still does stuff. They'll print it right and at Top Loft Clothing right downtown. They'll print it right in front of you. You walk in, and 5 minutes later, you're walking out with a shirt or whatever you need. So luckily, we've got Steph there, and we our downtown has struggled a little bit, just like any small town. But I still feel like Carroll's got their foot in the door and they're heading in the right directions. And things like the economic impact of Merchants Park, um, in addition to the merchants, yeah, kind of keep it going the right way. Because I look at New London; they were here from Sunday night all the way through their last game on
Friday.
Friday. That's what is that? That's 5 nights.
Mhm.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 5 nights of hotels. Not to mention they're eating in a restaurant. Now, granted, we wish New London would have brought about 100 more fans, but when they're a
You know,
school that
what
size,
what
we take what
they
we get.
what they lacked in the amount of people here, they made up in personality, craziness, everything. They were so much fun to sit there and watch. I sat through every single I think you were there, every single game played at that field. And, they were one of the more obviously, the Carroll crowd was number 1. They brought, you know, 1,200 fans. It was an awesome environment, but I would say that was a top number 2. Just how fun they were, starting chants, going crazy. Nothing over the line, obviously. They were very respectable. They came and shook just about every person that was wearing a volunteer T-shirt's hand and thanked us for being here. They loved being here that much. Sadly, a lot of them did say that they probably won't be back next year, but
Hey, that
hey, we wish them the best of luck too. And
absolutely. And I
it's
did
those
see,
fan bases that's so much fun to be around.
yes, yep, year before, I think it was Key Lansing. Yeah, Key Lansing. They didn't win it all, but they were here most of the week,
Mhm.
kind of the same way there. But speaking of state baseball, we can talk a little bit. This is where I kind of want to get off script and be a little goofy with this, but
So we were on script.
well, true. Right? Okay, I stand corrected. But can we change the verbiage of the shirts to say like unpaid staff? Volunteers too big to put on the back of them shirts, but I think unpaid staff would be good.
I feel like that's not the same amount of words,
Yep. That's all
but
right though. But then
letters.
you
Yeah,
and Tom Weber, Tom's probably not watching, but Tom, we can put paid staff on yours and Mike and all those guys
yeah,
down there. Tyler,
yeah.
you guys.
Those guys. I mean, they were there every game. They busted their butts between games, and then finally got a little bit of a break. And you know, we do still have a job to do during that time. So they get done. Some will just rotate, go out and start mowing, taking care of other things in the parks. You name it. Those guys were killers. I mean, it was awesome. We couldn't have done state without those
Yep.
guys.
Great guys, and like you said, just unknown. And I know we're missing some names in there. Some of those guys, but just yeah, great guys to be around too. Kind of funny. Just
Mike, Tyler, and Tom.
yep, do the job. And like you said, I remember last year we were down there. They had to go free a kid swing set on one of
Yep,
those days.
that did happen.
I'm glad the kid's all right. We'll put it that way. But it's
Absolutely.
just kind of funny.
It does happen. I just being in Parks and Rec, we chuckle at events like that. That's not the person in the swing that I've ever had to deal with, or we've had to handle. But yeah, it does happen.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to talk about, City of Carroll? I mean, do you want to touch on Ragbri a little bit? Here's your
Oh,
chance to talk.
this is
But
kind of my night away from Ragbri,
okay,
really.
we'll shut
But
the mouth
no,
then.
I mean it'll be fun. It's obviously, I feel like it's kind of becoming. I don't want to say a hot topic with communities because a lot of people like it and a lot of people don't. I mean, if we're going to welcome 20, 30,000 of just friends coming into the community. It's not the same Ragbri it was 25 years ago. If we do have 20 to 30,000 people, less than 1% are going to be those guys that are, or those people that are just going a little too crazy. You know, um, but 99% of them kind-hearted, good people. They'll clean up after themselves. So, I do see this as a big thing to really showcase Carroll. Um, I wish I could get the field involved a little more. Something at the field, maybe tourist attraction, snap some pictures. So that may still be in the works, but it's a great thing for Carroll. There's gonna be a lot of money being spent here in town, um, and not only that, the one thing I've above all else that I've realized about Carroll is this is a volunteer community. It's definitely apparent during state baseball when we have 30 people at any given time with volunteer shirts walking around that stadium. It's maybe to the point sometimes we have too many people, but it's just that well-oiled machine. We're always prepared. We're always giving back to this community, and that's what I absolutely love about Carroll. So, I expect the exact same thing out of people in Carroll for RagPri. If you can go in and sign up online or fill out the forms and get those turned in, awesome, do it. And definitely help out with campgrounds. That'll help me out a lot.
You got any questions on that? I'm sure just what, call City Hall
Yeah,
for you?
call
Yep.
City Hall, ask for me,
Yep.
call the chamber, ask for Ashley. I know she's gonna love that plug, but, her phone doesn't ring enough, so hit her up hard.
Both very busy with state baseball too,
Mhm.
so
Yep.
you guys are both gonna earn your vacation at the end of the week.
Oh, no vacation, it'll be maybe just take all of August off.
Sleep when you're dead, right?
Yep.
Well, a little update on our friend Murray. Murray's still around, but he's getting rested up for the season. He wanted me to pass along this for you guys. Kind of spilled the beans already. Put that caption up, but let's see here. Let's see if I can figure this out. Murray's tuning in tonight from the hot tub, so hopefully the show and everything's going good. But he likes his hot tub. But everybody thinks I'm Murray, and this here alone proves that
Yeah,
how
yep,
can I
above
be
all
in a
else.
hot
Yep,
tub talking
and
here at the
be
same
here.
time?
Yep.
So again, I am not Murray. I may look alike. He may like to drink broken prop beer,
Mhm.
but unfortunately, we're not the same person.
A lot of people say the same thing about me, they've never seen me and Batman in the same room at the same time.
So you're not Batman, or you are Batman.
I don't know.
So we need to change
I'm
your little
definitely not
plug.
Batman. Don't come and find me, please.
But another thing too, as we're kind of getting ready to wrap up here, kind of hard to believe we've been on darn near an hour already, and I'd like to keep it to an hour. But
Sure.
going forward this summer, down the line, still going to kind of continue on in a similar format, but we are looking at kind of maybe changing a few things on it. I want to get more involved and have a little more fun with it. I feel like it's been a lot of seriousness and some good topics. I think all needed to lay the ground rule, but I don't know how well that's going to progress. So, um, Chad and I, we don't have to be serious. We can be kind of fun and goofy with it and turn it into some things that we want to do. So I think you're going to see more of a transition into a different format, just having fun, and as well as covering a little more topics such as Carroll, maybe some state baseball action in there, just different things around Carroll. Working with some of these businesses and especially our game sponsors, we're going to get the first crack at a lot of this stuff too. But um, talking craft beer, things like that, just small town life in Iowa and different subjects like that. But what kind of got me spurred, it's hard to believe. I don't know if you've been reading the sticker on the bottom, but over the weekend, I did accept a position with CBS Sportsnet. I was also fired about 3 hours later.
Hmm,
So
that happens. Yep.
unfortunately, that didn't go off. But I do have proof. I do have proof that I did work for CBS for a brief time. Did not even collect a paycheck. There I am. That's with Kevin Hutchinson. If you ever watch the PBR, the bull riding, he runs the boom camera on top of the chutes. He's a good friend of Katie and I, but he got his behind backstage, and that's me there holding the CBS
Yep.
microphone and talking. Unfortunately, that's just one job I couldn't keep.
4 hours of the paycheck.
4 hours of check that I had
Yep.
to return because
That
apparently
happens. Yep.
you can't touch the mic. But I joked with G-Man before. This if you don't take me serious, I'm going to leave. Well, I had the opportunity. I just screwed it up. It happens.
Mhm.
It happens. So anyway, just gotta get my little plug in there.
I'm surprised, you gave the awesome Murray update, but if you ever showed everybody the one picture with I know how big of a rock fan he is, but he did get a sweet
Oh,
picture with the, pork tornadoes at the
yeah.
Ragbri kickoff party,
Oh,
and he was the belle of the ball.
I know how we do that. Hold on a second, folks. Hold on with me here.
I
Um,
mean, every chance he could get, he finally got accomplished to get him up on stage, and,
is that on your page? You got a picture of that on
I
it?
definitely do, yeah,
I don't know if I've got that.
but,
Hold on
yeah,
here.
he wanted a picture with them. I mean,
Uh,
Drake mascot was there, Perky was there.
Perky was there. Let's see, I think I need to go.
Pretty
I'm
sure
gonna
they hugged a bunch too. Murray might be a big fan.
Murray might be. Um,
Mhm.
he's definitely not a Cyclone fan. I do know that. Sorry, Laura, and sorry, G-Man. John
You
Perrin,
don't have
Jim
to be
Mallard.
sorry. It's fine.
Photos
I'll
here.
speak. I'll speak for the merchant. You don't have to be sorry. I know Alan will love that. T-Man will love that. It's fine.
It's just like Bud Light Cans, right? Oh, I didn't say that. We're not getting there. Going there. Anyway, hold on. I can screen share this on the screen here, but I don't know if it's on this one. This is Murray's rocking out with
Yeah, there he is at city council.
at
Yeah,
city council. Murray
yeah,
gets around, but
he does.
here, let's see if I can do this. Let's hold on. Share screen. See if I did this right. I think we did. Hold on. Yep, there he is. There's Murray with the not Griff. Griff's the actual bulldog, but this is Spike.
As I
He's
say,
the
Spike.
mascot.
Yep.
Let's see here. Let me let's get rid of that shared screen just in case we see something we don't like Bud Light cans. Um, I shouldn't do that. I'm a mean person. Let's see here. If we go, gotta be on yours.
Oh yeah, it's
Thank you.
definitely on mine.
What's the story on pork tornadoes? They going to come into town?
Don't know. Well, I mean, I do, but I've been sworn to secrecy,
It's
so
sworn to secrecy.
not
Just
going to happen yet.
there we
Don't know.
go. Let's share that screen.
Yeah, huge pork tornadoes, man.
There's
So
Murray with the pork
I
tornadoes
know
and
he's been
Chad.
celebrating. He's written me some very lovely notes, basically begging me to get pork tornadoes to Bragg Bry. So
I'm
if I
sure.
put in a good word, we'll just see what happens.
Is he going to get tickets to go down to that show?
Oh, we'll get him VIP.
That's all right.
If Pork Tornadoes is here, I will get Murray a VIP pass.
So right away,
You don't. You get general admission. You're in
that's
the
fine
back.
with me. I probably won't be in
Back by
town
the porta
for
potties.
right. That's fine with me.
Missing a good time.
There's good entertainment coming on porta potty sometimes. We won't go there anyway on small town festivals. I know right away this is going to get flagged. If you look at Murray, he's wearing the same sport coat I am. JC Penney sold them, people. Okay, Murray happens we're similar size. He just happened to get one the same time I did. Somebody's got to take care of Murray, and since I've come on the merchants, they've unfortunately made it me because I have some Polish judges now. I can get them out of hot. I'm like from the attorney's house. Sure, they get disbarred. I don't have a bar, so they're not going to get rid of me
Yeah,
anyway.
there's a bar right there. It works
Not
out.
that kind of bar.
Oh, sorry.
Guys,
Maybe that's why I didn't so well do in school.
yeah, we got jobs. We
got
graduated.
jobs. Yep.
That's the main thing.
And get to watch baseball.
Get to watch
all
baseball.
Summer long.
Drink just like anybody else. We got to watch cheap baseball.
Yeah.
$5. You're not getting that at Principal Park.
Best deal in town.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
$5 beers. What else is going to go wrong? Go wrong. Unless it's a Bud Light can. But anyway, I better drop that. That's the last time I'm going to bring that up. But anyway, other than that, let's go back. Any last words?
No. Any way you can help out Merchants Baseball, come to the games, have a good time, bring your friends. It's obviously Memorial Day is their home opener. It's usually their biggest crowd of the year. I saw last year's opening day crowd. I only missed 2 home games all of last year, and I was out of town for both of them. So trying not to miss any games this year. That's my goal. But if the crowds at that very opening Memorial Day are like that throughout the year, this thing's going to be a huge success, and it already is.
Yeah.
It's already awesome. It's already a ton of fun. You get into July and it kind of dips down because everybody wants to vacation, everything like that, and that's great. But it's just an awesome opportunity to watch some good baseball, support these kids. I think G-Man said we have the second highest attendance in our entire league.
After the first year.
After the first year.
Yep.
So these kids absolutely love having fans in the stands. People sponsoring Thank you all for sponsoring these games. Come out and support them. They're giving a lot to be there. They're getting a lot of their staff there that night. They want to see a lot of fans in the stands too. I can't tell you enough. It's a fun time. Just get down there, have a good time.
And it's
So Adam Murray.
Adam Murray. Murray, yeah,
He's really the star of the show.
yeah, it's just too bad he's deaf. He had that nuclear power plant accident. That's why he can't talk. And that's why he's turned into a baseball. Anyway, Murray's writing a biography about himself right now, so stay tuned for that. Don't know if it's going to get published, but you know, to kind of capitalize on that, if we remember back in COVID and even 2021 when we didn't have the merchants, I mean, you could tell something in Carroll was missing. It went from summer lasting from Memorial Day to first week in August before fall sports started
Mhm.
to all of a sudden July 1st we're down at Merchant Park, and it's just kind of a sad feeling.
Yeah.
We can prolong summer. We understand June is a busy month for everybody, and attendance really spiked in July, and we hope it's the same this year. How can you do that? Get out, support merchants like Chad said, and smash the like button for us. Share these videos. I know we don't have always the best live crowd, but share these videos. Show them clips. Do whatever you can with it. I don't care. I'm not going to sue you for copyright. I don't lose or gain on this. So,
Also true.
but yeah, let's really kind of start spreading the word and have some fun with this, and really make the whole Carroll merchants the pride of Carroll.
Mhm.
And what else do we got that we can say that we are one of?
Not just that. Support both local high schools.
Thank you.
Kemper's
Yep.
got an awesome team. Carroll, they might have a down year last year. They're looking to rebuild. I hope that nothing best for both those programs. When baseball's great in town at every level, it's going to be awesome. People are going to want to be down at the ballpark, whether it's this ballpark, the North ballpark. I grew up as a baseball kid. I want baseball to succeed in softball. Both, you know, I just love both teams' athletics. I love seeing these teams go to state. You know, I didn't always have that opportunity down south. Shenandoah was kind of going through some struggles, and even when I was in high school, there was 2 years there we didn't win a football game. You're winning only 6 to 9 basketball games a year, but having this fun, winning environment is great, and it's great for the community. When those schools are doing well, the community is doing well. So you add both of those doing well, you just have merchants playing well. It's gonna make for a fun summer. So support local teams, support both booster clubs, support the Carroll Merchants, and let's have a ball.
In the worst case scenario with merchants, if it's not the best baseball that night, the beer is going to be cheap and ice cold.
Now in distribution.
Our distribution, Budweiser product. We got a few other things coming in this year. I think
Ooh.
we're going to have about, I believe we were talking 9. It's for 8 for sure, but it's going to be 9. So if you're not the beer fan, there's going to be some other options down there too. I'm not into that food stuff, but um, I'm sure.
Templeton?
No, unfortunately, we can't. I want a Jameson slushies.
Oh.
Could you imagine? Oh, they're good. We're an Irish Fest in Milwaukee with my
Yeah.
aunt and uncle, and it's Jameson slushies, man, they're good. And me, I like to talk to people. So I got out of this guy. I got ginger beer and of course Jameson, but I didn't get anything else. But I think that's pretty much about it because honestly, what else you can put in it? But unfortunately, we got to have a liquor license, and we're just happy that you find folks in the city of Carroll allow us to apply for a liquor license and sell beer at least. But nothing better than a hot dog and an ice cold beer on a warm summer's night, any part of the country, but especially Carroll. So,
100%.
but well, we're going to wrap things up here. We've kept you long enough. Thanks for your patience on getting us started here. Like I said, darn internet kicked out at the best time. About 7 to about 7:25, we didn't have anything. So
It's
ran the
true.
hard
I mean,
line on the floor.
like you said, there's a hard line all the way back to the router. Why do you even have a 50-foot cable?
150. It's 100.
150
Well, I thought if I do this down at Merchants Park, there was a special
that's
on
true.
them, and
That's probably a good idea.
that Wi-Fi down there, I can never get to work. But I don't know. We
Which,
got a lot of
like I
weird.
said, that's gonna be a great idea.
Let's
Before and afters.
Yeah,
some
absolutely.
interviews before the game, talk to some fans, kinda do an on the road podcast, and then talk to some of them as they're leaving the stadium,
Yep.
whatever condition they may be in,
I think that'd be
as
great, get
long
a
as they're
couple
not
of our
driving
fans.
home.
Yeah, and kinda keep their swear language down to a
Yeah,
minimum, but
absolutely.
I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with
Kid-friendly
that.
show.
Yep, have a lot of fun with that. I got a lot of weird crap that you would think that,
Oh, I'm
you're
not
never gonna
surprised.
use,
Not
but
surprised one
that
bit.
one time you need it,
Mhm.
you look over your left shoulder, I've got another 150 cord too if you need it, and special.
Yes.
Discount shopping. Alright, we
You'd
better wrap it up.
hate to lose money on the deal.
I know it. Alright, folks, thanks for tuning in, thanks for putting up with us, share, like, do whatever you gotta do, get our word out there, we greatly appreciate it. Come down to Merchants Park, we are 54 days away. We can't wait for opening day. Let's go. Again, from the Broken Pops in Carroll, Iowa, we are sending it home, and everybody take care. Have a happy Easter. Remember the true meaning of the season, and spend time with your loved ones if you can, and don't eat too much chocolate, because I will. Good night, everybody.